Greetings, Churrasquians. This is year two of Gnarlyseabass and Churrasco Voltorb's pickups.
What's
We
up,
are
guys?
we are both here to share some quick pickups. Couple of disclaimers. My kids are going apeshit right now because they're in the background watching Disney movies, so they're losing their minds. And disclaimer number two is Gnarly Seabass actually had double the number of pickups that he's actually showing. He's got like 7 games here, and he had like another 7 that he left in our hometown of Miami when we were picking up games down there. So don't think I'm some kind of greedy fat bastard that just picked up 15 games and I'm like that sadistic and sick about games that I picked up that many and he only picked up half.
I am just as sadistic and
Just
have the same amount. It's just that they're in another house. We're traveling back and forth.
that's
So
right.
it'll just be a little snippet of the pickups that I got. But Churrasco here has a whole bunch. And we got some PS4 games that you're going to start off with here.
Yep, I'm gonna start with some PS4 games that are part of a GameStop had a cool deal of buy 4 games for $20. So starting off with one of those is Bound by Flame, which is produced by or published or created by Spiders, published by Focus, and I bought this to kind of finish up the deal and make the 4 for 20 work. So this is kind of an afterthought, and it's a cross-platform. Is released on PS3. Also, think of a Dragon Age Origins but not as charming and a little bit more janky, and you get the idea. And the graphics definitely show like you can tell it's a PS3 game on the PS4 console.
Yeah, I've never actually seen this game. But Focus Home Interactive has published some pretty cool stuff, like the Surge series.
Oh, I
So
like
I'm
that.
I'm I'm surprised that this game kind of sucks, but yeah, it's just one for the collection.
No, in its defense, it might not suck butt. I might have to give it more of a try, but as of right now, it's in the middle of the butt sucking tier.
It's the hot take so far.
All right. This next one is not exciting either, and this is part of the deal as well. The Order 1886. And you're thinking, Trosco, this game came out back in like before 2015. Look, they were advertising Bloodborne. This is the Sony published tech demo, basically, for the PS4 to show what it could do. And it really is actually a little bit more than that. I'm going to come to its defense and say that it is more than just a walking sim type of deal. It has a lot more gameplay than you think, and pretty cool cover-based shooting. A little gimmicky with the werewolf monsters, but I still I enjoy it, and I
It's still
recommend it.
a graphical showcase, I
Oh
think, on
yeah,
PS4. It looks phenomenal.
it definitely holds up. It definitely holds up, and for the $5 that it was going for, it was kind of a no-brainer, honestly.
Yeah, Nikola Tesla was a werewolf slayer
Yeah,
back in the day,
everybody
right?
knows this. He he
Yeah,
he
he
slew.
invented the light bulb and
He's
killed
yes. He
werewolves.
invented werewolf slaying and werewolf. I mean, werewolf slaying and light bulb lighting. So he's a pro on both fronts and a hero to all modern day Americans
He's
and
a smart guy.
Londonians because I think this is in London. So he's a hero of the British, the werewolf slayer.
You want to do an
Let me do another.
do
Let
this
me
one.
finish up the. I'll do the GameStop deal first. So this is Mass Effect Andromeda, which the only reason I really knew about it, besides I was a fan of Mass Effect and really wanted to check out all the series, and I loved 2 and 3, was basically I loved the meme videos of the technical glitches in this game, and that's what made it really popular for me. But I've heard that after patches, it's a very serviceable game. And I think honestly, what hurts it the most, I haven't tried to play the game yet, so I can't really give you my take on it. But I think if this game was called anything but Mass Effect, it might actually have done better. I think the name hurts it. People are expecting a Mass Effect game, and apparently it's not really all that great in comparison.
Yeah, it had to live up to a high standard, but if
Mm-hmm.
it was called something like, I don't know, Massive Effect,
Massive Effect,
people could
really?
have been like, hey, that was a good shot at trying to replicate a
Yeah,
Mass Effect style game.
or even like Space Master.
Space Master Andromeda.
That might have been more successful. But moving on.
That's right.
Yeah, the last one for the deal, and the one that I'm arguably most excited about, is Jedi Fallen Order. Um, so this is like a Souls-like in the Star Wars universe, if I'm not mistaken. I have not tried to play this either yet. The original case looked like someone had jammed it viciously and savagely inside of their beehole and torn off the corner there. So I got a new case, and it looks quite nice. But I'm excited to play it mainly because I want to check out the second part on the PS5. I think this is a cool series. If you guys know anything, let me know in the comments below.
Yeah, no, I heard this game was pretty sweet. I'm waiting for the inevitable dual pack that they'll release
True,
of
true.
Fallen Order and Jedi Outcast
Mm-hmm.
because I've heard really good things about it and it looks great. I'm not much of a Star Wars guy myself. Neither is
Not really, no.
Tarasco, but we do acknowledge the acumen that franchise has on pop culture and sometimes even video games. This is if you're a Star Wars guy, this is one of the best Star Wars games that has come out in recent memory.
Yeah, the only one that I know that comes to mind that is good is the Jedi Return games on the SNES. Would be as far as I know. Honestly, I have other Star Wars games, but I haven't really played them as much as this. And
There's Bounty
obviously,
Hunter as well.
and KOTOR, I guess.
Yeah, KOTOR,
Well,
Bounty Hunter. Those are some of the most recent ones. But then came out this guy and it's Big Brother.
all right, sure. Let's go to Gnarlyseabass's first pickup. Let's space his out.
Yes, I only have a small handful, as mentioned previously, but here is a must-have, and we have Tunic. Just check out the fanfare here in the packaging.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it has a nice like holographic box that houses just the normal retail release. I'm not much of a fan of. I'm gonna talk about everything but the game right now. The packaging. Opening these sorts of boxes, you're gonna kind of mangle one of the lids. So I think I'm gonna go for the bottom one. But anyways, this game is about a small fox that's trying to be like Link from the Zelda series, and yeah, that's basically what the game is. It's a Zelda like, and I heard that it's an excellent one. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out.
It looks great. It looks fantastic. Honestly, for the packaging alone, I don't even own a Switch, and I would buy it because of the lenticular-looking rainbow fox there.
Yeah,
It's pretty neat.
it's holographic. It's kind of like iridescent. I don't think you can tell too much on the camera, but yeah, cool. Huge fan of the packaging, and I'm looking forward to being a fan of the actual game because nothing but good things about this top-down Link to the Past style like gameplay.
Definitely cool.
Tunic.
Very cool. Let me see. We had another GameStop deal. GameStop was on fire recently with the sales. So there was another buy two get one free used games. So I picked up RE6.
Yeah. An action, more action-oriented Resident Evil entry that people kind of slander here and then.
And I'm kind of pumped about it because, as you know, I'm terrified of scary games. And I played Revelations and 5, and they're more action packed and totally fits with my psych and what I can handle as far as scary stuff. I heard this one has scarier campaign in it, Leon's campaign. But one of the other reasons I bought it is because of the infamous number 6 logo that looks like a very happy giraffe being serviced. But that's about it all I'll say. But it's a really neat. I'm excited to get it. I know it was on PS3 also, but I wanted to go for the performance of the PS4.
Yeah,
So I'm pumped to check it out.
Usually
eventually.
a good call. The guy at GameStop was cool enough to give us the red case because it was kind of like Frankenstein together with a blue case.
Yeah, that's.
Well, we gotta have the
Yes, we do.
the full effect here. So PlayStation Hits usually has a red case,
Exactly.
and
Our ADHD would not allow that to happen.
not at all. GameStop, man, a lot of people like
that
talking
was on.
smack about GameStop, but it's actually
It's
a
pretty
good-
cool.
Yeah, it's a good spot sometimes.
Yeah. So the next game in the used was actually. Oh, hi. Why don't you go out there? My daughter just joined me here. She's next to me. Addie, go over there. Love you. Okay. So
Thank you, small child.
thank you, small child. Untitled Goose Game. This was also in that GameStop of buy two get one free, and I was very thrilled to get this. This has been on my list for a bit. It's currently in the PS4, and it came with all the bells and whistles. It came with the little manual and a map and a sticker, which is currently on one of my bookcases. I love bizarre animal games, and my son does even more. He already finished Goat Simulator, so the next evolution in his gaming process is obviously to move on to geese.
Yeah, and I've played this game on the Switch. I've 100%ed it. There is another 100% to go through, so it can go up to 200% for all you math whizzes out there. This is a really, really cool cel-shaded style game in which you're a devious goose engaging all sorts of antics, and it kind of adopts this graphical style. This game came out a while ago, but we're gonna experience it here at the Tarasco household and have lots of fun. It's a silly game. It's actually very silly, but very fun.
Baby Churrasco will definitely enjoy it. He's been enjoying it a lot. He was a goose today for about 3 hours.
It was like 3 hours. It was crazy.
And finally, the big kahuna of that GameStop haul was God of War Ascension.
Oh.
And I'm super pumped to own this. because it was priced very
At
nicely
GameStop. You found this
at
at GameStop.
GameStop, which is insane. A game from 2013, I believe, in GameStop from that generation console, and it even had the stupid pamphlets in there
For the online pass.
for the online pass.
Some Kratos.
And look, there's a game called Last of Us coming out soon.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that. The disc was really nice. It had some juice on the back, but
Someone
I cleaned it
sneezed
up.
on it.
Someone sneezed on it very hard, very forcefully, and but it came out really nice after the cleaning I gave it. I played it a little bit. I heard rumors that this game could overwork most old PS3s to the point of death, but mine held up pretty well through the first boss fight, which was kind of a spectacle, and it didn't change. The fans keep chugging along. Old faithful slim PS3 doing its job. If you know what God of War 1 and 2 is, and 3, this is more of the good stuff. Old-fashioned God of War, hack and slash, super brutal. Kratos is still one of the best characters, in my opinion, that Sony has ever pulled out of their hat.
Yeah, it looks amazing for a PS3 game. And this is what, like his origin story, kind of like this was his first rodeo or something like
kind
that.
Of, yeah, kind of, sort of. I think that honor would belong specifically to maybe Ghost of Sparta on the PSP, but this is also like sandwiched somewhere in between the original trilogy.
Somewhere in the
yeah.
early timeline of Kratos.
Yeah.
This is that entry, and it looks great.
It looks
fantastic. So good for a PS3 game. I was very surprised by how well it's held up, and yeah.
And I will be playing through this soon.
You're a big Kratos fan.
Oh yes, big God of War fan. Check out one of yours.
We got the lone PS1 game,
and it's
if I'm
a good
not mistaken. One. Yeah, we got Jet Moto here. This game, think of it as I don't know, like
F-Zero?
F-Zero, but it's motorcycle style, like hover bikes, and some weird sort of marketing going into the game. They advertise like Butterfinger and Mountain Dew bikes that you can actually ride, and yeah, just arcadey, racy. It's kind of tough. I'll give it another go because we checked it out briefly, and you know, just PS1 style graphics, but it actually, you know, it doesn't look terrible, and yeah, it was just fun. High speed thrills.
It's definitely cool. If F-Zero and Wave Race had a baby,
yes,
and we're eating Butterfingers and drinking Mountain Dew while they made this baby. This is the baby.
That's the perfect way to describe it. And yeah, it has a wide cast of characters, like 20, and it's all 20 are racing at the same time. They're kind of like team-based. But yeah, just really, really cool stuff. We got the greatest hits version here, and just another one to bolster the PS1 library for myself.
That's a classic. All right, let's see. I have some NES cards. So let's start off with one that we thought was going to be cool, but it ended up being kind of lame. It's To the Earth. I thought this was going to be... We initially thought shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
Then I thought, I don't know, this has like a cockpit view. So it's going to be one of those like weird like cockpit shooters where you're kind of on rails. And I was right, except for the fact that this uses the NES Zapper. And in addition to that, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, so it's a light gun game, which is pretty neat to have as a novelty in your collection. But yeah, the enemies just fly at you at like 3,000 miles per hour, and you're expected to shoot down every single one of them. And for every miss, I think like your health just drains.
Yeah.
So this is a cool diversion for about 2.5 minutes, and then it's just gonna go on the shelf to collect some dust. But I've never actually like seen this game.
Neither have I. And this cart was very mint, and I had to.
Honestly, if I ever saw a copy of this for like, you know, a pack of bubble gum and a paperclip, I would definitely pick it up.
I'm so there.
Yeah,
so there.
Yeah. Well, Zapper games are cool.
It's definitely neat, but then you know, after 2.5 minutes, like my brother said, you eventually realize that I could use my Zapper in way better ways, like Hogan's Alley or Duck Hunt, and you'll forget about this for the rest of your life.
To the Earth.
To the Earth. And let's see. Let's move on to the a PS2 game that was a gift from Gnarlyseabass to me. This is the original Burnout.
The very original one, the one that started it all in Burnout franchise.
So this game actually has a funny little history because I believe you bought this game for your PS2 and it did not play on your PS2.
Long ago, it did not play on my silver PS2 Slim. And then later on, I got a GameCube copy because it also released there. So I was like, you know, I have an extra game that doesn't really work. Maybe Churrasco can fix it, or maybe one of his consoles can actually play it. And sure enough, it works like a charm.
My PS2 Fat from launch still and played it perfectly. And it's Burnout.
It's an awesome game.
It's a fantastic racing game. Basically, Burnout and then Burnout 2, they're Burnout 3. If you have the one, there's no reason to ever go back to the initial, maybe. I think 3 is the creme of the creme when it comes to this, but this is still a really fun racer if you don't have the other iterations. And yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, some PS2 Slims have some weird compatibility issues with some games. It's super bizarre. It's unexplained why Sony did it the way they did, but the first generation PS2 Slims and the PS2 Fats, you really can't go wrong. But this is a neat game, and I appreciate this super cool gift.
No problem, man. It found a good home, and I hope you have fun with that one. One that I may not have fun with, or just kidding. I don't know. From the creators of Little Big Planet, if I'm not mistaken, we got Tearaway, the Unfolded Crafted Edition, or maybe it's called Tearaway Unfolded, Crafted Edition. And this game was originally exclusive to the PlayStation Vita, because you did some weird stuff, like you would kind of like touch your Vita on the touchpad in the back. So surely you can't play this on a home console, but they're like, yeah, screw it, we're gonna do away with some of those mechanics and maybe port them over to the touchpad. But just kind of like a cutesy 3D platformer with I don't know, kind of like a puppeteer like aesthetic. And it's just been a game that I've had on my radar for a while because I'm a big LBP fan, and if it's from the same makers, then I assume that it'd be kind of like the same style gameplay in a way. And yeah, it has that charm. It's cool.
I liked it.
Yeah,
It seemed cool.
we
I
checked it out
The
briefly.
only thing that pissed me off was the announcers. The old it was like an older couple speaking in the background, like guiding you along. And I was like, and then forsooth, hark, he approaches, and it was just like,
I
listen, I don't.
prithee thee, please,
Right.
yes,
And
rid
I
thyself.
was just immediately over them as soon as I heard them talking the first couple of times.
Yeah,
But other than that, it seems pretty neat.
some motion-based controllers with
Mhm.
the gyro control and all that good stuff. But yeah, here it is, Tearaway. I can take this off from my wish list.
All right. Let's move on to. Actually, let's do this guy here. This is Code Vein for the PS4.
Bandai Namco, huge fan.
This is anime Souls, I guess. Anime Dark Souls with vampires and big boob anime girls and waifus and whatever. Waifu simulator creator. It was cool. I played it briefly for a little bit. It seems like something I eventually want to keep trying. I haven't had a good Souls game since finishing Elden Ring, so I kind of this was reminded me of how cool the Souls formula is. It was really neat.
Yeah, I mean, just a Souls like we're Souls fans. Churrasco more so than me because he's beaten the vast majority of the mainline entries, and this game came out around the era where a lot of people were trying to cash out on that Souls like formula because it's brilliant. And here's just like a different looking one, at least aesthetically speaking, but same kind of mechanics. And I've heard really good things
Yeah,
about it as well.
yeah, I've been on, it's been on the look for this one for a bit, and I can never find it anywhere. Saw a copy that was in good condition. I had to say, sure, why not?
By the way, shout out to our support system here to avoid the glare. I gifted Tarasco this Zelda Edition Gold DS Lite.
Which is really nice. It's perfect condition.
I had no use for it because I had just gotten it for a really good deal, and right now Tarasco is on a bit of a portable handheld kick, so he'll get a kick out of that.
It's pretty neat.
Uh, in my quest of securing all my digital games in hard or physical form, we have Super Hot VR. So this is a VR game, and it's really awesome. I never come across this game in the real world, but sure enough, I found myself a copy. And basically, what this game is kind of like, think of the Matrix. So every time you move, the enemy projectiles are moving as well. So like bullets and stuff, if you stop moving, you'll freeze the bullets in midair.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really cool in VR. You're very involved. You feel like Neo from the Matrix, or maybe not, but it has this cool like polygonal aesthetic. It's very stylish and lots of fun. So I had to add it.
That's a neat pickup to make it the physical and complete it.
Still a little bit filthy. We
That's
didn't
fine.
have time to clean it, but it works perfectly. And I'll probably just keep this on the shelf and have the digital version installed.
Pretty
Yeah.
neat. I've never seen it besides this PAL release, so that's pretty cool.
It is a PAL release, and I'm happy to have it.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. All right, so I'm gonna put up a game that I was super pumped about when I found in stores. This is Alone in the Dark Inferno, this
Oh
Keanu
man.
lookalike. So my understanding was that this was like a horror thriller game, and it kind of is. But I was kind of tired. I think it was a couple of nights ago when we play tested this. I was falling asleep on the couch, and I told my brother, "Why don't you check it out and let me know how it goes?" So
Yeah.
maybe Gnarly Seabass, why don't you tell me a little bit more about this game?
So this game is very divisive, from what I've heard. You either love it or hate it, right? So you're this guy, and you're in some sort of like hospital. I'm not really sure. I wasn't paying too much attention, but the first hour of the game, the intro sequence, so to say, was kind of like a parkour earthquake survival simulator
Mm-hmm.
with like some weird sort of like wall monster that was just chasing you around and causing all sorts of havoc and giving mini Keanu here the worst day of his life. But very strange, very strange. I kind of stopped playing right when it was going to get interesting. Um,
Cool physics-based puzzles. I can say that. That's
yeah,
about all I
yeah, the
can.
puzzles were really cool and physics based. It's very involved though. This game is
Yeah.
very involved. Like you gotta, press a button to blink if you're looking through first person perspective. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a button to like take a dump
Yeah,
like
probably. And
after
then you get to wipe, and you have to pick two ply or single, and it can be rather messy.
Yeah, so there's lots of controls involved here, but I don't know. We'll see. It came out on Game Boy Color. Maybe that
Maybe
version
that
is not
version's
as bad.
superior. Yeah, with the Wii obviously above all of them.
Yeah, but very
But
strange. But yeah, you finally have this
I
one.
finally had this. Been looking for these niche horror games. Always get pricey, as you guys know. Let me do. Let me see. Let me do that guy right there. Yeah. All right. So
Lair,
this is Lair for the PS3.
an
That's
early PS3
a
game.
very early PS3 game, and this is back when Sony and game companies in general gave a crap. Look at this thick boy manual and this really cool.
It's a miniature Bible.
Like, look
in
at that.
there.
How cool is that? With the art in the background, really neat. As the shopkeeper called it, Liar for some reason. This is Lair, the dragon riding battle simulator that was notorious for using the six axis to kind of tilt your controller and tilt the angle of your dragon, which is cool on paper, but in execution, it's the equivalent of jabbing a soldering iron right into your eyeball. It's horrendous, and it's been patched since to use traditional controls. Thankfully so. And I heard it's become an average game.
Oh, I had no idea it was a dragon riding simulator. I
Mhm.
always thought, oh, PS3 game, early PS3 game. I'm thinking like it's some sort of first person shooter, but that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind
this
of
might
like
be kind of cool.
more involved Panzer Dragoon, and you can land your dragon in crowds of armies and swipe your claws, and like waves of dead guys start piling up because your dragon is super OP.
Pretty cool concept for
Yeah.
the time, I guess. Published by Sony, so you
Mhm.
would think, oh, these guys know what they're doing, but it was more of a
It
showcase
was
for the
yeah.
six axis.
The six axis time to show their technology, like Heavenly Sword did a lot of weird stuff like that early on too. But I'm glad it got patched, so I'll be able to hopefully check it out
Nice.
eventually.
Let us know how that goes.
Oh,
Maybe you can
yeah.
review it.
Why don't you do one of yours?
Yeah. I myself am
This is
not
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of horror games too much. I feel like they shorten my lifespan with all the jump scares, and this is one that has plenty of jump scares. I've never actually seen Outlast Trinity physically out in the wild, and here we have the first iteration, Whistleblower, which was like an extensive DLC. Check that out. We got 2 discs, so the 2 games that I just mentioned came on that first disc, and then Outlast Part 2 is on a standalone disc. So everything's baked in here, everything's included. No need for downloading stuff other than like the latest patches. But this is a first person survival horror game in which you're defenseless. You're just some guy in an
Just running
asylum
around.
and you're running around from these creatures that are trying to like kill you essentially. So you can hide in lockers, hide under beds and stuff. It's kind of parkour like sometimes. It's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
It's so scary. I checked this out last night, and there was at least 3 jump scares within the first hour, and I was pooping my pants.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you view a lot of the game through a camcorder, which has like this neat night vision, but guess what? The camcorder needs batteries.
Oh, yeah.
So you're trying to forage for batteries, all the while getting chased by mutants that are trying to kill you. It's crazy. What do you think, Roscoe?
I remember playing this game. I got a free download for it years ago, the first one
Yeah.
on PSN, and I remember I at least had one pair of pants I pooped in out of terror, sheer terror, pants pooping terror when I was being chased by people I couldn't defeat, and it was horrifying and very violent. My wife actually sat with me years ago to watch that, and she said, "This is horrible. I don't know why you're doing this to yourself."
She had to suffer with you because like playing this game by yourself in the dark. I don't know if it's just us because we're wusses,
cool.
but it's really a scary game, and a lot of people love it. And here's the three of them.
This is a really cool pickup.
Yeah, never seen it before. Super glad to add it to the collection.
All right, now let's see. I'm gonna move on to my sole Xbox, original Xbox.
Oh, this game will make you poop your pants too.
This might make you poop a little bit. This is Shenmue 2.
Shenmue,
and pretty cool. Really nice thick book and 2 discs.
Nice.
Because the back one is the Shenmue movie. So the original. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, guys.
I think it's Shenmue. Shenmue.
Let's just call it
Shamu.
Shamu. Let's go for Shamu from now on. So Shamu Part 1 came out on Dreamcast only, I believe. And so this was a way until I think it was later the collection was ported to PS4, but way later. Yeah. But besides that, early on,
huge fan base.
Yeah,
huge fan base on the Second Life.
Shamu, the first one, was on Dreamcast, and that DVD in the back is the movie breakdown of the story of Shamu 1. So in Shamu 2, you can be like, oh, I kind of understand what's going on.
I'm all caught up now that I watched this movie.
Exactly.
How long is that movie?
Because
the game is pretty massive.
The game, this is the funny part. Right? So I was playtesting it, and the disc itself, Shamu 2, the actual game disc, has a breakdown of the first Shamu on it already, which I thought would be on the DVD. I haven't looked at the DVD yet because I think you need something weird to play it. I don't think you could just slide it into any standard DVD player to play it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I know Shamu 3 sucks butt according to everybody, and this is the best way to probably play it. I think the ports were not as fantastic, once again, of Shamu 1 and 2, unless I'm wrong there again. So I figured, hey, listen, I basically own the whole franchise right here. This is it. I have Shamu 2. I can get recapped on Shamu 1, and Shamu 3 is not worth playing. So,
yeah,
win.
The first couple games at least kind of set the bar really high, and then Shamu 3 didn't come out
Just
for like
dropped
50,000 years, and it didn't live up to anyone's expectations. But it's still kind of an endearing franchise that a lot of people love, and it's pretty neat. That's a cool jacket.
That is a sweet jacket. I think I have one similar to it. I might do that for Halloween. All right, let's see. Let me do this game here.
Ah, yes, an SNES pickup.
SNES with a little protector. This is Joe and Mac, the original Joe and Mac. If you're a fan of caveman antics and side-scroller platforming type of deal, this is your game. You go around clubbing baby dinosaurs and having a good old time. It's similar to Congo's Caper, which is kind of an unofficial sequel. Then there's Joe and Mac 2, Lost in the Tropics, which is pretty pricey. But this is a really cool game. It's an early game, as you can tell from the slit here in the front, as opposed to the later angled kind of little slope on the cartridge.
Such weird cover art, by the way. I would think this is some sort of like Virtual Boy game, but it's about cavemen.
It's about cavemen, and it's actually really neat. I think in Japan it's called Caveman Ninja, which is super interesting.
Oh, that's awesome.
And now, guys, I'm going to cut the video real quick to make you a part 2, because we're going to run out and we're going to have a really awkward transition. So just bear with us while we do part 2 cut real quick. With you in a sec.